We're here in Niagara Falls, Ontario, in the historic building of the Seneca Theatre, downtown, the city of Niagara Falls. I'm sitting here with the theatre manager, Mikol. Mikol, first question I have to ask you, can you give a little bit of your history of how you came into theatre itself?
Yep, exactly. I'm here. I work mostly in the office. I've had a lot of history in office as managerial positions, and I'm an artist myself and have enjoyed the artist field. So I worked actually at the St. Catharines and Area Arts Council in Niagara before. I've worked for several theatre groups and had quite a lot of history with artistic family. A little history of myself as well and my family. My grandfather, who was Mikol Zahorchak, was actually the founder of Canadian Odeon Theatres. So I have a very big background in the theatre industry.
And with the Marilyn Monroe's, the movie Niagara debuted right in this theatre.
That's correct.
Can you give it briefly? I know that you're in the works right now on the celebration of that. Can you tell us a little bit about that and maybe a website also at the same time where people can go check for updates?
Sure. Back in January 28th, 1953, Marilyn Monroe's film Niagara debuted in this very theatre. So Marilyn Monroe was here for the whole Canadian debut, and that's what Marilyn Monroe used to love Niagara Falls, and that's what made Niagara Falls the romance capital of the world, was from her staying here, and that whole movie is pretty much what made the city what it is. So we need to celebrate that, and being in this theatre, we are in the works of doing that. You can look for any of that information on our website, which is www.lyndesfarnetheatreprojects.com. That's LYNDESFARNE, and then theatre, THEATRE, and projects, PROJECTS.com. It's a long website, but you'll get there.
And another thing I'd like to ask, the age of this theatre right here, what other famous let's say artists and even singers, and the list goes on, that have performed here in this location?
Yeah, this theatre has been through several reincarnations throughout its time. 1940 was when this building was originally built. Started as a movie theatre. It was originally owned through famous players. Was the original owners of this building. So it operated as a movie theatre. I believe it was up until 1980. So for quite some time, for 40 years, it was operated as a movie theatre. And then it was transformed into live stage production, performance theatre, where Cats was performed here, as well as a few other things. I've got some of the list here. There was also Shirley Valentine, Nonsense, Blood Brothers, Narnia. There was quite a few performances that were done here. Then it transferred back to a movie theatre again, and then back to live performance again, which is where we're hopefully going to keep it from now on. We will be doing some screenings. We're hoping to have the Niagara International Film Festival here in the summer. So there's going to be a lot of good transformations, I think, and good things to come.
Briefly, can you give a little history of, what pulled you into the theatre world itself?
Again, it's my history with my family, and being in the theatre industry and knowing people in the theatre industry. It's definitely a glamorous world, and it's everyone loves to be a part of it. And it's nice to have that history to fall back on and be in this place with that history. My grandfather at one point even owned this building too. So there is a circle of life going on here with me being here in this theatre as well.
And what is one thing that inspires you to want to get involved further with the artistic world? Something that someone's left in your life, someone that's really inspirational on you, that's instilled right in you.
Of course, that's my grandfather. As I said, he was the founder of Canadian Odeon Theatres. He started that whole company from a hot dog cart down on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. So from that, the inspiration and the drive and knowing what he created, I take inspiration from that, and I would love to be like him. I'd aspire to be him and create that, and love to start that here.
Well, I wanted to thank Mikol for the opportunity to share with us, and we're going to be right back with the two co-founders of the Lyndesfarne Theatre Group, So thank you so much for your time, and and at the same time, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope that this theater here lasts for many years to come and is open for many young and up-and-coming actors and actresses.
We hope so too. Thank you.
I'm here in Niagara Falls in downtown area. We're in a historic building right now that actually is tied into the history of Marilyn Monroe. It's the Seneca Theatre on Queen Street. I'm here with the two co-founders of Lyndesfarne production company out of Niagara Falls, Ric Reid and Kelly Daniels. Ric, first question I have to ask both of you, how did Lyndesfarne come into being?
Well, 7-8 years ago, Kelly and I were doing a fringe show in Winnipeg, and we needed a name, so we just picked the name Lyndesfarne because it's part of my heritage, going back hundreds of years. Then when we came into the Niagara region, we did a play because we wanted to be part of the O'Neill Fest in Winnipeg, so we picked one of Eugene O'Neill's plays. And again, we used the name Lyndesfarne, and one of the city employees in St. Catharines suggested that we might want to consider forming a company. So Kelly and I talked it over and thought we could give that a shot. And then we set about setting the goals and the mandate of how we were going to work in the community and what our goals were. So that's the brief history of that.
Oh, Kelly, you actually have many hats in the production company. What I'd like to ask you, when you first came to this theater right here, how did you come into Niagara Falls, and what condition was this historic building in?
Well, let's see. The building had sat dormant for a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, and Phil Ritchie, the landlord, invited us down to have a look, and thought that we would, because of our track record and the sort of the patronage, the database that we had grown to that point, which was now 7 years, maybe we could take on this theater and run and facilitate and run other programming and invite other community user groups to come in and perform as well. And so we did that, and here we are. And the building itself was not bad. There were a lot of renovations that had been done years prior, but there was a lot of work to do. There was a lot of bringing things up to code for fire regulations and all that sort of stuff. And we also renovated the theater itself. We created the proscenium arch and the new front stairs and stage apron, if you will. The stage was a little bit different when we came here. It's quite a bit different now. So we've done a few things here and there, a little bit of decorating. We've got some, wonderful staff who keep things quite lovely in the lobby, and and we're enjoying this new home very much.
And what kind of corporations that got involved with you here in Niagara Falls and the Niagara region?
Well, let's see. We've got our provincial sponsors, of course, the Ontario Arts Council and the Ontario Trillium Foundation. The City of Niagara Falls has been a great community partner in supporting what we do and promoting what we do. The Queen Street BIA has been really quite fabulous in doing the same. Phil Ritchie, of course, our landlord, has been incredibly helpful. Paris Crepes Restaurant across the street, Taps down the street, Drexy's, Sullivan Manny Law Firm, our season sponsors for now, I think, our 4th or 5th year. The businesses on the street are happy that we're here because there has been an increase in activity on the street, and that's always a good thing, And other community user groups are thrilled. A lot of musicians who have, put on different concerts and things like that are very, very happy to see this building open and running and thriving again. So hopefully that'll just keep growing.
And one question for you there, Ric. What kind of productions can you actually see coming to the Seneca Theatre here now that you've guys opened it up?
Oh gosh, we're looking for a really diverse calendar as much as we can. We've had opera sung in here. We've got Pink Floyd.
The Pink Floyd Experience.
Experience. They one of those bands that does note for note. They recreate the band Pink Floyd on here. We've had some talks with dance groups. We're looking to use the facility for young comedians who may want to do a stand-up routine and need a smaller venue. We're trying to make this building so that the community, the people that live in the area, will look at the building. They might not want to go to the rock concert, or they may not want to come to a theater show, but they may want to come to the night of comedy. They may want to come to an evening of dance or something, so that it becomes a place that the community looks towards as to, there's always something on, so what's on there tonight? And then we can get as much diversity in our interest groups and our users as possible.
But hopefully they want to come to the theater.
Oh yes, of course. And within that, yes, that's how we hopefully will bring people into our own productions as well. But the idea is to create a space that belongs to the community, that they know that on any given night there might be a performance of interest for them, so they keep an eye on it and they keep coming back and forth and creating foot traffic in the area.
And quickly, what kind of nonprofit organizations does the Lyndesfarne actually help sponsor?
Well, first of all, just to clarify, we're a nonprofit and we're a registered charity ourselves. So in terms of sponsor, we don't really sponsor anyone, but we do act, as a facility to welcome. So schools or other community groups that want to bring in, like there was a 21 band salute in here one time a few weeks ago. That was a concert that actually showcased 21 Niagara bands, and the organization that put that on is called MySpace, and these are emerging musicians and artists in the community that are trying to grow and develop sort of a collective of artists that will bring attention to the music scene and culture and artistic activity in Niagara, period, and there are a bunch of young kids who are just working really hard to do that. So that's one example. We've got Rod Standish coming in on December 10th. He's going to be doing a 100-hour marathon, playing the guitar with his band and piano, and it's there with the Perpetual Peace Project as well, which is again a part of MySpace. So there's a number of different things.
With Raft.
Well, yes, in St. Catharines we do have other organizations that we are sponsored by. United Way sponsors our after-school programs that happen outside of this theater. The RAFT, the Resource Association for Teens, downtown St. Catharines. We still have facilitators that go in weekly and hold a drama workshop for them on a weekly basis. We are attempting to open the art house this summer. Our plans are to sort of create a YMCA for the arts. So there will be, throughout the day, different drop-in and workshop sessions or classes that kids from the ages of 12 and up can come and participate in a variety of sort of multi-arts, multi-disciplines. So it could be dance, music, band, acting, what have you. So we're looking forward to that, and our young company this summer as well. And we've just really arrived. We've just been here for a few months, so I'm really excited to see what the future holds and who we might still have coming through our doors. And I look forward to, we both do, I think I can speak for you, we both look forward to welcoming as many emerging artists and groups that want to be here, that can be here.
And one question I'd like to ask everyone I interview, what I'd like to know is who inspires you to do what you do. I'll start with you first there, Rick, and then we'll ask Kelly. Who was it in your life that left a lasting impression, and what kind of message did they leave that you want to carry on to other people?
Oh, I'd have to say, I guess, my dad. He was a man who, from early in his 20s, he started working with community, with troubled kids programs in Edmonton, Alberta, where he was from, and he developed programming for kids to give them some place to go and hang out in the gymnasium, play some basketball or whatever. And then he moved to the Vancouver area, which is where I was born, and he helped found a Sea Cadet Corps, where again he works with a lot of foster kids and he worked for the March of Dimes. He was a man who really believed that the community was better off with people sharing experiences and talents and ideas. And in that regard, although my mom, she did volunteer work, she was basically the backbone that doing the work so that he was free to go out and do that kind of stuff. She certainly believed in it as well, but you've got kids, you've got other things to deal with, so they both couldn't go out, but she as well. We had people living in our house when, if they needed a place to stay or whatever. Just the idea of we all have not just a responsibility, because that sounds like it's a must-do or something, but that there's a greater gift to sharing and opening doors for everybody than just sort of sitting down and watching the world go by.
And Kelly, can I get you to share who inspires you, what kind of message they leave, and at the same time, if you can share the website for your production company, the theater here?
Sure, thank you. That's a hard question. My family's been a great source of inspiration to me, definitely, particularly close with my grandmother, who, always believed that I could do as well as my mom. But my grandmother in particular just believed that I should do, whatever inspired and whatever I was passionate about. But I think I take my inspiration truly from people who are perhaps more recognized out in the world, who do great things, far greater things than I have yet to do in helping communities. And I really believe that theater is a way to help communities. It's a way to help children and youth develop their voices, grow and build their self-esteem, help them to become more productive, more sensitive, caring human beings. And so, because theater is what I do, that's where I put my passion and my drive and the programming into, and hoping that we will be able to do just that. When I was a student, I had very incredible teachers, people who gave of their time to me, and I feel like in some ways when it comes to students and emerging artists, I'm paying it forward a little. And really it's in honor of those people who gave me that when I was younger, that extra couple of hours of instruction, or the chance to audition, or the chance to perform in something. I'd like to think that I've taken that from them, and I'm doing the same thing for those who are committed and want it and are passionate as well. So.
And quickly, your website too?
Yes, Lyndesfarne Theatre Projects.com.
And I just want to say in closing that, next time that you're in Niagara Falls on Ontario side, take some time, drop by the theater here. It's right in downtown on Queen Street. As Mahatma Gandhi says it best, be the change you want to see in this world. And I'd like to thank Rick and Kelly for allowing my wife and I a chance to come and see It's a Wonderful Life, at the same time for sitting down and sharing some thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Pleasure.
both of you. Yes, thanks.